Hey guys, this is Dave.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us for the December 8th, 2021 regular council meeting. We had no closed session tonight, so I'll call the open session to order. And would you please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. All right. Madam Clerk, can we get a roll call?
Councilmember Mendoza.
Here.
And Councilmember Ackerman is joining us via Zoom remotely. Councilmember Fatula.
Here.
And Mayor Pro Tem Burris.
Here.
And Mayor Loman.
Here. Thank you. And can I get a motion to approve the agenda order?
Motion to approve.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Abstain? All right. And we'll move on to item 3, agency reports. Sergeant Griffiths.
Council, my name is Sergeant Kevin Griffiths with Placer County Sheriff's Office. First, I want to start this week with just thanking everybody for allowing us to be a part of putting the Christmas spirit into Colfax. It was very nice doing the escorts to the Christmas tree. Getting out there today, I talked to the 2 deputies that were involved in decorating the tree. They had a really good time working with Cal Fire, probation, the city, and Martin, and getting this town into a better holiday spirit. And I gotta say, City Council looks great. I can't wait till Saturday and Winterfest and being a part of that all day. Secondly, as far as the law enforcement, I believe we had a couple of slides just to go over our calls for the last month. So Colfax statistics, we had 169 incidents throughout the city limits of Colfax, 24 of those being suspicious, 6 of those were disturbance in nature. We did arrest 9 individuals within the city limits, and we cited 2, unfortunately. What we would rather not see, we'd like to be able to communicate with people and get them not to do the bad things to where we have to take them down the hill, but it is what it is. If you look at overall county statistics, our deputies have been extremely busy this month with over 4,000 incidents. We've arrested 142 individuals and cited 48. When we're talking about that, we're still having a high incidence of guns that were taken off the street. A week ago, we had 3 in the same weekend. Just the beginning of this week, we took 2 other guns off the street. And I bring that up not because the sheriff's office is against guns or anything like that. We're for good people owning guns, people that have the right to own guns, people that actually are responsible citizens of Placer County. The people we're taking guns off are all felons. They don't live in Placer County. They're coming to Placer County to do the wrong things. And we're catching them in Placer County and we're taking them into custody in a very safe way. In fact, you may have all noticed that the Colfax Motor Lodge had a little bit of business about 2 weeks ago in the morning. There was a suspect from Riverside County that had just killed a person that was working on his car with him. Apparently the car fell, crushing one of the dogs. He became upset, pointed a gun at his buddy, and ended up shooting and killing him right there on the spot. Started driving up the freeway, found himself in Colfax, actually stayed in town for a few days. We got word that he was there. We had, I think it was 7 deputies out there, and it's 6 o'clock in the morning when I believe this all started up. They kept eyes on the motor lodge as we were trying to get our SWAT team mobilized to come up and take care of it. They got people out of the adjacent rooms to that hotel. And as they were sitting there, we had canines involved and everybody else watching the room. He came out of his room, started walking down the driveway of the motor lodge, and when they felt that he was far enough away from his own room to where he couldn't get back into his room without us getting involved, they came out, surprised him very quickly, and he did the appropriate thing, got on the ground really quick and put his hands out, and we were able to take him into custody. Riverside County, very appreciative of that, came on up, picked him up, did their investigation, and I believe we had quite a few fresh charges on him, but I believe he's on his way back to Riverside County now. So not only do you get your deputy every shift for the city of Colfax based on the contract, but you get everything else that comes with it. The 9 deputies that were involved that morning, the SWAT team that's getting ready to deploy on that, that's 21 other deputies that are coming. You know, Winterfest, we've got a bunch of deputies coming up, a bunch of presidents that are going to be here, but we're definitely taking care of Colfax and making sure that everybody is safe every opportunity we get the chance to do that. But truly, thank you for letting us be a part of this community. Spirit. Is there anything else, any other questions that I can answer before I turn it back over?
Questions from the public? Council?
I just want to say thank you for everything you guys do and how on top of it you are.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Sergeant Griffiths.
Thank you.
All right, Placer County Fire. Chief Egan.
Good evening, council, members of the audience here and at home. Brian Egan, Battalion Chief, Cal Fire, Placer County Fire Department in the Colfax Alta Battalion. So first I'd like to echo Kevin's comments regarding the tree decorating, the garland today and delivering the tree last week. Working with Martin was a pleasure this week. It was just an enjoyable time for us to be here in the community, getting the community into the holiday mode and those kind of things. So we really did enjoy what we're able to participate in today and hoping that becomes the new norm for us in the community here and being engaged to that point. With that, you know, we have Winterfest coming up Saturday, noon to 8, specific to the fire department's role in that. We're ready to go with the fireworks. The permit has been signed and they'll be setting up during the day. We'll have the parade. We'll have a number of volunteers and career staff that'll be in and around the city of Colfax during the course of the event for the community safety and just the interaction with the public there. Next Wednesday is our transitional badge pinning. It's kind of the culmination of the last 6 months of bringing the Colfax Volunteer Fire Department into the Placer County Fire Department as Company 36. So we'll be doing that formal badge pinning here in the council chambers next week. And we'll be sending out the invites for council, family members and the like here within the next day or so. With that transition, we've been working pretty aggressively over the last month and a half with the city of Colfax staff on the improvements of both of our fire stations here in town, Station 36, Station 37. Fire Captain Hale and Martin that represents the city. They've been working hand in hand on coming up with a plan, both a short-term plan of some immediate improvements plus some large-scale modifications to Station 36 that'll make it a more modern, capable of handling a more modern piece of apparatus in that building. And so working real closely with the city on that and making some good strides there. Specific outside the city into the unit for the Cal Fire. At this point in time, we're beginning our transitional staffing. So at this point, we're still at peak staffing. All of our engines, all of our crews, all of our dozers are still staffed. About 2 weeks ago, our aircraft left Grass Valley Air Attack Base and they relocated to the McClellan Air Base. That was so that maintenance could begin on a lot of that apparatus. Those aircraft take a significant amount of hours of annual maintenance that have to be done. And if we're late getting it started, we're late getting them out into the field at the other end of that season. Oh, I hear somebody. With that, this coming Monday, we're going to begin our transitional staffing plan. We'll be reducing all of our state engines or state stations with the exception of the Colfax station to 1 engine per station. And we'll maintain that currently planned until the 3rd of January, and then we'll go to our base staffing level. The impact to the community of Colfax won't be anything because we'll remain 2 engine staffed at Colfax Station 30 throughout the course of the winter. Our Alta station and our Auburn stations will transition to Amador staffing at that point. It'll be 1 engine per station, and we'll remain that until we'll see what the weather turns out to be in the spring and how soon we need to ramp up for that. So we talked about the Christmas tree delivery, the lighting today, the garland setup, all that stuff. That was great. We had a ball doing it. I'd like to throw it out to the council as a suggestion, and some of us were talking today while we were watching the guys and the gals decorating the tree. I'd like to make a recommendation to the city. The city takes a look at a permanent Christmas tree for the community. I think there's a couple of locations where the city, in cooperation with CAL FIRE, Placer County Fire, we could look at getting a live Christmas tree, a nice size box Christmas tree, and planting in an area over the other side of the tracks in that train station area. That could become the Colfax Christmas tree for generations to come. I think that's listening to some of the council and Andrea, wherever Andrea went. Where'd you go, Andrea? Oh, she's in taking care of taking care of the little one. We were talking about it today, that there used to be a live Christmas tree here in town, and that used to be what was lit, and it hasn't been for a number of years now. And maybe it's time to look at bringing something back like that in an area that could hold something like that the community could enjoy, and for generations could be that tree. So just throw that out there to the council. So with that, that's into my staff report. Any questions from the audience or council?
Yeah, so I got just a couple of ones. Maybe you could answer to make it real clear. So people want to know why the Christmas tree was cut down. Can you officially answer that one?
I can officially answer that. So there was never a live tree standing in that location. During the delivery of the first tree on Thursday, we had an incident happen with the tree breaking on Thursday. And so that was the pile that was seen there being cleaned up by city staff. And then we've harvested and brought a new tree in on Friday. So
Yeah,
I did not cut down a tree.
Yeah, I'm just saying that tongue in cheek because I had about 25 people come by over the last week saying, how come the city cut down our Christmas tree? And there was no tree there. And people swear that they've seen that tree there for years.
Yeah, we heard the same thing on Friday.
Okay, so just so it's officially on record, you did not cut the tree down.
At least not there. Came off the wastewater treatment.
Yeah, I also did just a brief check on what it would cost us to put say about a 20-foot tree in there. And if you get one of those giant tree planters that comes out here and do it, you can get a tree like that, like a Douglas fir, for about $3 grand. So it might be something that'd be worthwhile for the city to look at.
Yeah.
Perfect. Because we spent a lot of labor on this year.
and we enjoyed all of it. Absolutely. So.
I feel like it would also be nice if we could get some of the background story as to why the other trees stopped being used. The cedar that's over at the park right here.
We traditionally try to turn it on every year if possible. The lights are starting to fade on it. I'm not sure why it stopped becoming the official tree. It had stopped when I came on board in 2015. I know there's a member of the public every year that insists that we plug it back in, and we do our best to do that. It's just labor intense with the size of that tree to deal with what's in it. And the top of it was cut off. They put a Star David or something. Anyways, but again, this year we'll plug it in and see what works, what doesn't work. We can go from there.
All right. With that, questions? We'll see you on Saturday.
Thank you, Chief. All right, Highway Patrol, Officer Nave.
Hi, Chris Nave, California Highway Patrol, Gold Run area. Good to be back. Sorry I missed a few weeks. I was cruising around the Caribbean. So my apologies if some of this is older news, but I'm just playing catch up. So just real quick on the river fire, I was working with Placer County Sheriff's Office, and we walked all the properties and we mitigated the vehicles to get those out of there. So hopefully things will expedite the cleanup and get things going along with that, if it hasn't done so already. Yeah. Okay, so little behind on that, sorry, but it should be, that should be moving along now. So we got the vehicles taken care of. River fire. So over the Thanksgiving weekend, just a heads up, you guys all, I'm sure, have heard about the quad fatal we had up near Cisco Grove. The wrong way DUI, wrong way driver hit the car head on, killed 4 people. 1 child remains alive. It's an ongoing investigation, so I'm not going to comment any further on it. But on that note, our DUIs are up. Over the Thanksgiving weekend, we had 57 people statewide killed in crashes. During the Thanksgiving weekend, that's a 14% increase from last year. So we just want to stress and to folks that, seatbelts matter. If you're going to be drinking and driving, obviously designate a sober driver before you start drinking, because once you start drinking, all hands are off. That's when we make dumb decisions. So stressing that, because it is the holiday season. We got Christmas coming up, we got New Year's coming up. Obviously, that's when all of our collisions and DUI involved activity increases. Hopefully we can decrease that, keep it under control, keep people safe for the holidays. There was one more thing I was going to touch. Oh, Chips for Kids is going on. That's our CHP toy drive. I know we got, there's like chips, or there's the military's doing theirs too. But if you find it that you want to donate to our Chips for Kids toy drive, you can donate to any CHP office. You can donate to ours. We are partnered with Toyota, so they're collecting toys for us too. We are always in need of toys or things for the older kids. I mean, in my office right now, I'm saturated with things for the 4-year-old and younger, but there's not a whole lot for that 8, 9, 10, 12-year-old age group. So if you find it in your heart that you want to donate, please do so. But think about that age group if you want. And that's all I've got. Any questions?
How do we let the people know? How do they, if they find somebody that maybe could, use your program, how do they get a hold of you to qualify for
So
this
just
type
call
of
the
program?
office and ask for me, and I will, I'll talk to them and find out what their needs are and help them out the best I can. Some people may object to this, but I don't check people's income and that stuff. Like, frankly, that's none of my business. I'm just taking you for your word.
So they would call the Gold Run
Yeah,
CHP office.
and I will take care of you the best I can.
Thank you.
Yep. Or if like I said, if you know somebody who's pointing in our direction.
Are you guys able to accept gift cards for the older kids? I know sometimes. Okay.
Yes.
Perfect.
That's great. Yeah, I know the older kids, it's all about electronics now. Anything else? Thank you. It's good to be back.
You have a question? Sorry.
About what now?
Driver in the fast lane.
So I think what you're getting at is late at night, we get along with wrong way drivers. PDX the news, you hear about them all the time. Wrong way drivers. What we stress to drivers is late at night, it's never a good idea to be driving in the left lane, or a lot of people refer to it as the fast lane, because the left lane to the wrong way driver is the slow lane. And somebody who's been under the influence tends to drive in the slow lane. So their slow lane is your fast lane. So we always encourage folks, if you're going to be driving late at night, stick to the right lanes, stay out of that fast lane, because that's where the wrong way drunk drivers, that's where they're driving. Is that what you're getting at? Okay. Very sorry about you. I was walking on your property. Very sorry about your property. So
One more question.
The Gold Run CHP office. I don't have any barrels down here. I didn't want to infringe on the Toys for Tots. Different. So, it all goes around to everybody that needs it. But yeah. Yeah, there's several. So but if you want to donate to us, you just bring it to the office, or the Toyota dealership got an offer, and I'll pick them up there. I also have a barrel down at the Ridge Golf Course. So there's some there, whatever might be easier for you, but yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Anything else, Nate?
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Chamber of Commerce?
everybody, for letting me come back and talk. I just want to
Good evening.
go over a little bit of Winterfest, which seems to be the major topic today. My goal is to not have anybody post on Facebook asking if there's anything to do this weekend, because we've been really trying to get the word out. I just want to go through quickly the schedule of events so everybody's aware of what's going on. We've posted a couple times on Facebook, but just want to run through it and give out some shout outs to some folks. Starting off, of course, the festival is between noon and 8. Between noon and 8, we're going to have craft food, crafts, food vendors, beer garden by Green Machine. She was here. So thank you to them. We have photos, of course, with Santa, which will take place in this room here, where everybody's excited about, and that's by the Friends of the Library. The Performing Arts Show, Miss Jess, also known as Ambitions. They're going to be putting on quite a show. They're going to have yoga for kids and stretching and a little bit of a pageant and crowning and dancing and caroling. That's going to be over by the Chamber, which is also going to be where the kids zone is going to be with the jump houses. So we have all that going on. Kat's Animal Rescue, she's going to do a craft table for kids nearby. From 2 to 8, we are going to have more sponsored by the Chamber as well, is the park by Marston's. That is going to have entertainment. We're going to have a karaoke, a gentleman by the name of Rick with Black Tie Affair. We're going to be doing some fun karaoke, and we're going to have some possible officials that have donated their time to maybe get up and sing. And we're going to raise money for next year's Winterfest and maybe split it with a charity of their choice. So depending upon how much money is raised, we'll get them up on stage. So that will be going on. We'll have the band Malarkey. We will have Blitzen's Tavern, which will focus on Out of Bounds Brewery, who has donated their time and their beer to also fundraise for us. So thank you to them. We'll have hot toddies, spiked hot chocolate and all that kind of fun stuff. So make sure you come by, and that's between 2 and 8, right in the park area by Marston's. At 4 o'clock, we'll have a brass band by a church, which is the Baptist Church. They'll be performing and singing as well. And of course, at 5 o'clock will be our tree lighting. The city will be there. Our mayor will be there. We'll do a final crowning, I think, for Miss Jess and turn the lights on the tree. 6 o'clock is the light parade that we have every year. We've got quite a few. That is put on by the Lions Club, so thank you to them. And then, of course, we have the fireworks display, which is also done by the Chamber with the help of our sponsors. To help put that on, that's at 8 o'clock. Speaking of sponsors, I just want to give a thank you to, of course, the city of Colfax for their donation. And a pretty other major donator was General Plumbing Supply, is really helping us putting this on. Fireworks Farm, Smarter Broadband, Wave, Best Western, Marvell's, another church, AMC. We have some raffles also going on at Blitzen's Tavern. If anybody wants 2 ski tickets at Tahoe Donner. So that will be going on as well. And a free night at Atlantis in Reno. Railhead Saloon, Out of Bounds Brewery, of course, Ambitions, and of course, Ring Machine, who is helping us tremendously with all the craft fair booths and all the vendors, and they're handling that, which is a huge task. But a major shout out for today to where's Brian and his crew. Thank you for the tree and our garland. So thank you for that. And Martin, right? Thank you for today as well. I think it's going to look great. And Kevin, of course, with your team coming down. We appreciate everybody's help. So again, Saturday, 12 to 8. Does anybody have any questions on that list?
Oh, I did have, I had somebody call, well, you're not in the Lions. Probably wouldn't be but are we on live? Just to let anybody know that's out there, if you want to be in the lights parade, on down to St. Dominic's Church right there, and they'll put you in. That's the
Yeah.
Some people haven't signed up, so I had a couple.
We unfortunately, the person that typically I think planned it in the past, again, new to this as well, wasn't there. So we didn't get really like an organized sign up sheet. It'll just be a gaggle of fun of people lining up and with their cars and whatever they're bringing. It'll be organized by the Lions Club. They'll be up there, but yes, Oak Street and Auburn, South Auburn. And just head on over there if anybody's interested in joining the light parade. Thank you for bringing that up. Yeah.
Questions from the public? Tim?
Around 5 o'clock.
Since the parade does start at 6, stage by 5:30.
So if you're watching by 5:30.
And also the visitor center, I guess we could mention is also having a little bit of a Christmas store. So anybody looking for last minute Christmas gifts, anything like that, that is there for you as well. Okay, and that's it.
Thank you so much. All right, that's all of our agency reports. We have no presentations tonight. We do have a public hearing. We'll start off with just for item 5A, our poultry ordinance. We'll start off with a presentation from Nick. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This has been billed comically as a chicken ordinance, and it does purport to regulate chickens within the city. But it was really, in my mind, and the way I've set it up, is as a food waste ordinance. A couple of laws have passed in Sacramento that now preclude sending food waste. Organic waste is what the term is, to the landfill. So there has to be a way to deal with that and to dispose of organic waste without sending it to the landfill. And one of the ways that came up in discussions was, well, how about if we allow chickens to be raised in Colfax? Now, the current ordinance does allow chickens to be raised in residential areas of Colfax, but it doesn't regulate the raising of chickens. It doesn't specify a limit. It does in agricultural areas, but not in residential areas. So we've crafted a proposed ordinance, and it's only a proposed ordinance for here for discussion tonight. And what we've proposed is this: we propose to allow 8 chickens maximum per parcel. The parcel has to be at least 1/10 of an acre, or if there's a area of 20 feet by 30 feet clear on a parcel, that can qualify as well. Prescribes building size and location and housing requirements for the chickens and how the food can be handled and waste can be handled and such as that. Provides for manure removal and composting. It proposes a one-time permit fee of $25. That's a one-time. It's a permanent permit once issued, except it is not transferable. One thing that may not be obvious from the draft ordinance is it applies to everyone in the city, so that anybody who's raising chickens in the city now will be subject to this ordinance, will have to get a permit, will have to comply. And violators will be subject to most of the normal abatement proceedings, fines and such as that. Now, I have to confess, I don't know a thing about chickens until they're ready to go on my grill. So I'm sure there are things that have been overlooked in this ordinance. I know that Carolyn McCulley sent a nice email that had asked some good questions, had some great comments, and kind of looking to learn from the public and from the council as to how we can tweak this and make it palatable. So that's, the council did form an ad hoc committee of Mayor Lohman and Council Member Fatula, so maybe they can comment as well.
So just a couple of things about this. This still doesn't affect properties that are 1/3 of an acre or bigger, because they can have an unlimited number of chickens, right? That's already in the code. That's something that we're not touching, right? But we wanted to be able to have a way of counting this so that we can go back to our waste haulers and negotiate better rates. Because if we're going to take this amount of load out of the waste hauling system that's going to landfills, then we've got a leverage that we can use when it comes up to contract negotiation times for waste hauling. The other thing that's really important about this is if you have to separate food waste out, and right now Colfax will be exempt from it. We don't know how long that will be, but you figure a couple years down the road, we'll lose that exemption, and then we'll have to have it. It really means we have 2 trucks going around right now, one to pick up green waste and one to pick up the rest of the trash. This would then mean we need a 3rd truck coming around. And I can tell you real simple, our bill is proportional to the number of trucks that they got to run around. So as soon as we add another truck, you can guess the cost of disposing of waste will go up about a third. That's my gut feel. So by doing this, we can say, no. We already have 300 homes in Colfax that are doing this. That takes this much load out of the system. So when you want to negotiate the rates, we don't accept that position. If we had no way of counting it officially, then we've got nothing we can use to show people what's actually being done. And that's why we said we just $25, we figured that's just enough to cover the paperwork of being able to record this and then helping us to go argue these battles, which most people never see, but goes on behind the covers on every time we have to deal with every one of our contractors. The other comments, I was just reading through some of the ones here. The limit of number of chickens, the 8 came out of some stuff from about 3 different university studies that said with 8 laying hens in a facility, you can pretty much put this in any size lot. And we're looking at the small lots, the under a third of an acre lots, and you don't have a problem with odor and stuff like that. So that's where the 8 came up with. And I think the idea of separating chicks out, if you're going to use them to replace the laying hens and stuff like that, might be a good one to add to this. I mean, that was a good comment in there. The rooster problem is going to be the responsibility of the owner of the chickens or hens in there. The roosters are not permitted. Once you can identify it's a rooster, you have the problem of taking care of the rooster as the owner of the animals. And as I told people, it says, even young chickens work on a barbecue. It's like, so you've got to deal with that thing. The city's not going to set up a special program for how we collect roosters and dispatch the roosters. Because then we got all kinds of other things to deal with. So this is like, if you're a person that's going to have chickens on your property and you buy sexed chicks, of which according to 3 different people that provide sexed chicks, that they only have a 90% accuracy of picking the females out from the males. So you'll still have a certain percentage that will be males, and the person that has the hens, has the chickens on their property, will have to dispatch or properly relocate the roosters. Okay, that's just some thoughts in there. Okay. I like the comments by also about the laying the tray in here. That might be a good idea too. The whole purpose of the tray, which was also out of a couple of university studies, is if you have a deep enough tray, it's easy to pull it out, dump it, and push it back in fairly quick. But if people want to do it with a shovel, I don't see any problem, provided you keep the place clean so that we don't have an odor problem. Right? Anyhow. And now we have the public comments.
Mayor, I gotta open the public hearing first. All right, I'll officially open the public hearing. We are the applicant, so we don't have a presentation additionally. We can now accept public testimonies. Would anybody like to make any comments from the public? Tom?
Hello, I'm Tom Parnham. I live on West Oak Street, and Merry Christmas. I'm opposed to this ordinance. There's several reasons. The odors, rodents, insects, and you're going to be exchanging food waste for chicken poop. And next time we're evacuated, people aren't going to be taking their chickens with them. They're probably going to leave the doors open. And when we come back, we're going to have chickens all over town. The idea that this is going to help with our garbage bills, I don't get that. We have a wastewater treatment plant here that might be able to help us on this. Like if everybody in town used garbage disposals, that would get rid of that waste and go to the sewer plant. And that would help the sewer plant too, because we add chemicals to the sewer plant to help with the bugs growing, because we don't have enough poop in it. BOD is the technical term, to keep the bugs happy. So we have to add artificial BOD, but it's a chemical that helps the bugs eat. So I would think if the reason we're gonna do this is to get rid of our food waste, maybe some kind of rebate program for garbage disposals is in order. But the chicken idea, I don't like. I don't think it's a good idea to encourage our people to raise chickens. That's basically it. Thank you.
Do we have any other public comment? Anything online?
We do have a public comment from Caroline McCulley. She is stating, I'd like to thank City Council for exploring the options to encourage chicken ownership within the city limits of Colfax. Chickens can be such a joy for families, learning opportunity for kids, and healthier egg options many times. I have read the proposed adjustments to current poultry policy and have some concerns that the requirements being placed will not reduce waste as hoped, are not fiscally responsible or sufficient for a family. First off, the limit on quantity to 8 hens. 8 laying hens will not provide enough eggs for a family of 4, especially in the winter when egg laying reduces. Yes, you can put lights in a coop to force hens to keep laying through winter under false conditions, but that is not the healthiest of ways for a hen. My suggestion would be to up the maximum number to 12 to 15 hens of laying age, meaning over 6 months. Also, when raising up new chicks to replace older hens, those chicks should not be counted in the total hen count as they are not laying eggs, and it is unknown how many will become roosters. On the rooster subject, what is the city's proposal to help people deal with the roosters who come from chick purchases? It is near impossible to know if you have rooster or hen for several months. In regards to housing, having a required size per hen is awesome. Definitely want to avoid overcrowding. The requirement of a slide-out tray for droppings is quite unrealistic in the chicken raising world. Shovel and wheelbarrow works much better. Building a secure hen house is definitely a priority around our area. Many secure and wonderful houses can be built for reclaimed materials such as pallets, scrap metal, and wood. Using recycled materials is also good for the environment and budget, which brings up another concern. Requiring hen houses coops built out of new materials, plus asking for sliding trays and a permit fee, is turning the raising of chickens into an elitist endeavor. Building materials, feed, cost of hens, and permits may not be cost effective for many families. Do we want to encourage more community members to participate in this program or discourage them because finances are tight and they can't afford to buy or build a coop from new materials? I support chicken coops in town, want them to be clean and well taken care of, and financially feasible to all who want them. And that's from Carolyn McCulley, 735 Highway 174.
Do we have any other online comments? All right. Nobody else from the public? Okay. I don't think. Oh, yes. Yes.
Yeah, we're still on the chicken.
Good. Okay. Yes.
So question for Mick. Mick, if we were to make a couple of minor changes to this to deal with the chick problem, right, for the until you can tell if they're a rooster or not, right?
Minor editorial changes can be made, and we can still do the first introduction, first reading, and such as that, bring it back for adoption at the first meeting in January. If the council wants more substantive changes, we'll bring it back at the first meeting in January for first read.
Okay.
So that may be a better way to do it.
I'm gonna recommend we bring it back for a first read. And I think we have some more substantive changes to make. I've had more comments just privately on this, and I think it'd be good to do that.
So we'll reconvene the subcommittee, make the changes.
Let me close the public hearing real quick, and then we'll finish this off. All right, close the public hearing. We can finish our council comments.
Yeah. So we'll just reconvene the committee, make the couple of updates, and then do the first reading in January.
Yeah, if you're good with that, Trinity.
If that's what we're gonna do, I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of feedback because obviously this is our only opportunity to give it to you. I really liked and appreciated Carolyn's comments here, especially because she is someone in town who raises chickens, has a lot of experience with our local conditions, and I consider her very knowledgeable and respect her opinion on this. And I would say as far as the reclaimed materials, I think she's got a really good point there. I think that maybe what we should look at is, as long as it's not unsightly.
Yep.
As long as it's not unsightly, then I think that is fair enough.
That was the original intent.
Okay, yeah, so that should be perfect. And then I had a question about the language. You did mention that the intent was, if you have more than a third of an acre,
Yep.
you should be able to have as many as.
That's the current, that's the current.
Correct. Is that the intent going forward?
We're not changing that.
Okay, so based on the language, when you go under allowed use under item C, my understanding is that unfortunately is not the way it's currently written. So that's something we would need to
I agree with
correct.
that, and that was a substantive change I was gonna recommend.
Okay.
We want clarification.
Because obviously that's not the intent.
Yep.
Let's see here. And I think for the most part, Carolyn really covered a lot of my concerns, so I'm not gonna go ahead and waste any time to reiterate.
Yep.
I think, my concern with it is the 20 by 30 space, if you're less than a tenth of an acre. Tenth of an acre is already pretty small space to have chickens on.
Got somebody with a tiny house or something and they're maximizing their lot.
Yeah.
That's kind of my question is, so we're okay with 8 hens on a 20 by 30 space?
Yeah, that looks like it fits with all the different university studies that I went through.
Okay.
So pretty cleanly.
Or the humane raising of animals and stuff like that.
Yep.
So I guess my position, I'm not totally sold on it, but at the same time, I know I'm not the expert here and I'm not going to pretend to be.
Yep.
But that's just something that I was wondering if we wanted to consider a tiered system when we're talking about smaller lots, just a suggestion.
Yeah.
But that's really the substance.
So maybe we keep it as 8 for the small
Mhm.
piece and allow you to go up to 12 to 15 if the property is a little larger.
And then the other thing too was just the permit fee. Again, I'm trying to think of this from the perspective of this is going to impact people that are already living here, already have chickens. And I don't feel super great about having people who are already owning chickens having to come down to City Hall and pay $25 for something they've been doing for years. If there's any way that we could waive the permit fee for people who are already in ownership, make it more of a self-reporting than a permit, just maybe something to consider. I think I'd be a lot more comfortable with that than, it just seems kind of a weird request to come back to someone who's already doing it.
Right, so somebody's already doing it not according to code, so they have a smaller than a 1/3 acre property. They're already in violation of the code.
Right, but it's the way this is written, if you have a 1/3 of an acre property, you're still required to go get a permit.
No, the intent is less than a 1/3 because the 1/3's already covered in the code. So just we'll clear up that language.
I'll clarify. I got it.
Yeah.
But that's
So
really.
if you have a person that's under a 1/3 of an acre that has chickens today,
Mhm.
right? By them applying for this thing, that now puts them in compliance with the code if this passes.
So I think I need my understanding, my question here then is the intent to leave everybody a 1/3 of an acre and above alone entirely?
Yes.
And they would be subject to none of these?
Yep.
Well, they're not subject to any of these today.
I understand that. I understand that there's pretty much no regulation today if you're above a 1/3 of an acre.
Yep.
It's complaint based,
Right.
nuisance based.
I don't think it's a bad idea, though, some of these requirements, I think some of them are reasonable to apply to over a 1/3 of an acre. For example, the containing things, not being unsightly, make sure it stays clean, those kind of things. It makes sense to make that be a requirement across the board because it eliminates vectors. Those things I think are really good and should stay and should be applicable to everybody.
Okay. So
I think that still falls under the nuisance policy, but we can add that in there too.
Just my input, but that's all I have. Thank you.
Marnie?
I just want to publicly thank the public comment from Carolyn as well, because she gave a lot of good detail to questions that I had. And then I just want to point out what she said about the 12 to 15 hens. So, but you guys just bring it back.
Yep.
Yeah, thank you.
Work on it. Make sure we get it more applicable to what we need. David, did you have any comments?
If you guys can hear me, I also really appreciate Carolyn's comments. It answers some of my questions as well. And I also agree with bringing it back. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, David. All right. If that's all the comments from council, I think we'll go ahead and table the item and bring it back for discussion at the next meeting. All right. We'll move on to item 6, the consent calendar. All items on the consent calendar are routine in nature and approved for the blanket motion and a council vote. No discussion on these items will ensue unless specific items are asked to be pulled for discussion by separate action. If you wish to have an item pulled from the consent calendar, please notify me. Anybody want to pull anything from the consent calendar? Okay, public, no?
Motion approved.
Second.
All in favor?
I,
All right. Consent calendar too. All right, we'll open up item 7, public comment. It's time for all members of the public to address council on items not on the agenda. Please try and keep your comments to 3 minutes. If you have a Zoom or a Facebook comment, Zoom, please raise your hand. Facebook, please note comment in your response. Got it that time. All right, do we have any comments from the public, ma'am? This is, could you come up to the mic, please?
I just have a question first, and I was wondering how the row houses were going. What's the situation? They're not going forward?
Sorry, ignore that.
Sorry.
The row houses, are you talking about the ones off Nealand?
Yeah, well, 174. I was just wondering, what's the situation with them? Are they still going forward? Are they going to put in 8 grow houses behind?
On the old motel lot there on 174? No, grow. Oh, the grow houses, I'm sorry.
Marijuana grow house.
are you talking about, what is it called, Fox Farms?
Yeah, Firefox.
Yeah, Firefox Farm.
Mayor, I could probably provide a brief update if you like.
Please.
So the applicant submitted an application for a design review. The staff reviewed that application and then submitted back to him a completeness letter. That means there's some areas they were deficient in, provide to us for us to bring forward to council for them to evaluate. So we're still waiting for them to submit the documents that directly relates to that complete letter. We anticipated either in December or January, we'll get those documents back. Once staff has time to review those and prepare them for council, they'll come to a future council meeting and noticed for the meeting as we do all.
Okay. Okay, I'm just, people have been talking about the smell and things that, and I just wonder, it blows my mind if this was passed. And I still having a hard time. I told you I'd be a pain in your butt. I'm still having a hard time dealing with this because of all these things, the problems that they may have, the smell, it's in the city district, and none of the other districts voted for it. And I understand from talking to some people that one of the reasons that it went through was because there weren't any jobs. And if you notice what's going on now, there's jobs all over the place. You can go in any mall and you've got 3 or 4 people that want to hire, and they're in the area. Staples, Petco, and Walgreens, and Cash, whatever it is, Cash Places, Michael's, Burger and Cream. You've got all kinds. The union wants all kinds of different. Is asking for people. They're giving $1,000 just to sign up for some jobs. These jobs are from $18 to $22 an hour. There's a lot of jobs here, everywhere you go. And the dangers, I mean, I know just from dealing with it and knowing about it in my past, I know the element it brings. I know the influence on children it brings. We already have a problem with alcohol. You're talking about people having accidents and going up the wrong way because of alcohol, marijuana. influences people as they drive. It's a continual problem. And why would we just add to that is beyond me. And I'm still going to come up and be a pain in your butt. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Tim?
Hi, my name's Tim. Thank you, guys. Thank council, everybody in the audience. So to add kind of to that, they're a union, so you have to be a union member to get employed by that company. So they probably already have employees. Oh, they're a union, so you have to be a union member to work for that company. They're a union. Yeah, so just letting everybody know that. The other thing is still trying to get into like their league of cannabis and with what they're doing with their corporation, I would call it. So on the Chamber's website, there's a person you can contact for the Firefox. Is it Firefox Farms?
Fireworks.
And it's this Perfect Union. Is that the? Have you researched Perfect Union? What that is? You know how many dispensaries they own? 12 adult use and medical dispensaries. So this, I'm not blaming anybody, but the fact that you allow them to do the harm that she's talking about in some other community by cultivating it in your community and not accepting what comes with that, in return and passing that on to some nice communities. I mean, some of them are on the coast. I mean, they have 12 dispensaries, and I'm still trying to get, the black market curb in Colfax area with our, just the word recommendation is the only thing that is in between that. Okay. Our sales are down 20% during harvest season of just flower, not anything else. And it shouldn't be like that. Our sales should not be regulated by the black market that everybody in Colfax city limits can grow by ordinance. And also you're sitting here talking about the smell of chickens when, and it's the same process and the same thing. It's not even close to the same item, okay? You have, what you guys are doing are market allocation and anti-competitive, antitrust violations by separating customers and markets. And it's not just you, but you do have a financial interest because we pay taxes. And so do the other cities that are involved also. And I disagree with it. It's not, given local control, like you guys hold local control, you should be concerned about your local control. And it's, you allow one local business to disrupt 12 other communities, but you won't allow us to partake in the same business. I disagree with it. And I think it's unlawful. And I think if you guys were a business, you would be fined or go to jail for treating anybody like that. So when you make your decisions on, whatever, all I'm asking for is to just amend the ordinance, by resolution, right? Is that how it works? Amend, a couple words, amend the ordinance by resolution. Yeah, that could be done pretty quickly and pretty simply, and that's all it is. And then, I'll be quiet, and I'll be busy running my business rather than sitting there with nothing to do, because that's what I have, nothing to do, because I have no customers. I'd like to hire people, can't do that, can't expand where like we should be able to. Meanwhile, $300 million deals are getting done. We're not even able to hire another employee. So just something I'm throwing out there as public comment. I don't live in this community, but I support it. My family lives here, and that's all.
Question? No. Okay. Thank you, Tim. Jim?
Hi, folks. Thanks for allowing me to talk. Jim Dion, Highway 174. I know you expect me to talk about something. I'm not here to do that. I'm here to support Trinity. I've been coming to these meetings more than any of you in the last 5 or 6 years, other than COVID, I don't do internet, so I kind of lost ground a little bit. But whenever I came here for the last 10 years, when we change mayors, it's always been the mayor pro tem that took over until 2 years ago. And something happened that was really strange. And all of a sudden we changed.
Yeah, it is an agendized item, if you're talking about, our swap. Yeah, that's gonna be coming up, last item, so.
But am I allowed to speak as public comment after that?
Yeah, we'll give you a chance to public comment on that item. Yeah, sorry, I just picked up that you're talking about the whole, item on the agenda. Do we have any other public comment?
Tom Farnham. Our old hotel, I understand we have new owners. And during committee reports or whatever, I'd like some information on how that's moving along. When I was on the council, that was a sore point with me of all 4 years, trying to get something to happen with it. And I just want to keep pushing.
Chip, go ahead. Good.
My name's Revi Schlesinger. I just came.
Move closer to the mic.
My name's Revi Schlesinger. I just came today really to introduce myself. I had been living part-time in Colfax for quite a while and spending a lot of time here and really loving this downtown and this community. It's actually amazing to be here today and just hearing all the engagement and the exciting things that are happening, the level of commitment to the community here. I'm very interested in seeing the 2-block historic downtown be redeveloped. I think it's a huge opportunity, but it's also a lot of work. And because it's so empty, it really, in my mind, needs to be uplifted in a coordinated way. And I just wanted to offer myself as a support to help facilitate that in whatever way I can. My background is in transformation, change transformation work with big corporate, big complex projects. And I'd love to become engaged in whatever way I can to, and really talk to the city council members and learn more about what the town wants and what can be done here and see if I can support. That's it.
Any other public comment? No? Online?
I believe one is writing right now.
Okay.
She's writing it right now. This is from Carla Jameson.
Can you speak up?
Just waiting a moment for Carla Jameson to write her comments.
Tim, please.
Hi, Tim Ryan, 300 South Main Street. I just want to comment after I've been working at the chamber and to see the sheriff, the highway patrol, the city, fire department, all coming together and working out there and supporting for the Chamber of Commerce and the city. This is the first time, I think, in probably 6 years, I've seen the whole crew really getting together and doing an excellent job. And no fights broke out and no water balloons were thrown. So yeah, just want to comment of what a great job. We're so very thankful of having you all. Thank you.
And the other comment was for item 9, so we can move on. No other public comments.
Okay, great. All right, we'll move on to, if there's no more public comment. All right, we'll move on to item 8, council and staff reports. Marnie?
So I have been on the Placer County Homeless Committee for quite some time. And it's basically a committee of a bunch of different city officials across Placer County. We're making headway. We did go on some tours of the SAC shelter. They're talking Roseville and Auburn areas for these. We're not really sure what is going to take place yet. So, I mean, I don't have a lot to report, but I just kind of wanted to just check in with you guys and let you guys know that there are things happening around there, and it's going to be the Roseville and Auburn area that they're looking at for those types of facilities. Thanks.
Thank you. Just for people I know during the holiday season, especially if you're on a low income or you're struggling with food, remember there's a second food bank that's also available every Thursday up in Alta at Sierra First Baptist Church from 10 to 12. And they provide a really good selection of food and stuff out there for anybody that comes there. And Colfax is part of the area that they cover as well. So anybody that's down here that needs some help for the holidays, please stop up there Thursdays every week, 10 to 12.
That it? All right, thank you. David, did you have anything?
Nothing to report. Thank you.
All right, thank you, David. Trinity?
Okay, so our December meeting of the Air Quality Control Board for the county was canceled, so I don't have anything to report on that respect. As for SACOG board, we do have the Youth Leadership Academy coming up here. The application period has closed for that, so we do have our class pool for this year. And I'm hoping that come next year when we do it again, we'll get a good outreach to the high school and maybe get some people from the high school that want to participate. It's a really good program to, you know, get our youth involved in how government works, how land use planning works. There's a lot of really great education that comes with it. And then I do plan to submit my my volunteer slip to be part of that instruction for the Leadership Academy this coming year. For PCTPA, the Placer County Transportation Planning Agency, I'm skipping to a different board. That one, upcoming, we are looking at whether or not we are going to move forward with putting the tax measure on the 2022 ballot. That's the same tax measure that was set for 2020, but we chose to go ahead and forego it for 2020 due to the pandemic. So that is an ongoing discussion. A decision hasn't been reached yet, but I do hope that we will be able to look at that so that we can get the I-80-65 interchange fully completed. As for local stuff, you know, obviously we have Winterfest coming this weekend, so no one forget about that. But the day after that, we have the pancake breakfast. So, you know, if you've been out late at night at Winterfest and had a great time, be sure to go support the VFW and go to the pancake breakfast the next morning. We also had an error on our website that was brought to our attention today for the food bank. We had it listed as happening on the 13th of this month. It's actually the 14th. So for anybody in need of that service, I want to make sure everyone's aware. We're going to get the website updated. We're waiting for a flyer. But just make sure that you are aware it's on the 14th, not the 13th. That's all I've got.
Thank you. I have a couple of items. So at the last WACMAC meeting and the last Regional Parks Commission meeting, both groups made the recommendation that the county supply through the Parks Rec Fund the last bit of funding that we need for the Colfax Skate Park. So we now have all of our funding set. We're waiting on final approval from Placer or from the County Board of Supervisors for that funding to be turned over to us. And we're going to start the serious engineering process hopefully very soon. So very excited to hear that that project's finally moving forward. Definitely big thanks to Ty Connors and Andrea Harrison for all their work they've done on that. They've really done a lot to carry this forward and make this project come to fruition. Next Placer Sierra Fire Safe Council meeting is going to be on January 27th. We're taking a break for December because it'll be right around Christmas. And something nobody's mentioned yet, December 18th, the Saturday after Winterfest, we'll be doing their annual Santa Tour with the Colfax Firefighters Association and Placer County Fire, Placer County Sheriffs, And CHP? Yeah, so Santa will be making another stop there after. So we're really looking forward to that. It's always a great time, and we always get a lot of support from Placer County Fire, and it's going to be a great event again this year. But thank you all for participating again. That was all I had, Wes.
Thank you for bringing up the Colfax Hotel. To date, the last communication we've had with the new owners was dated 11/2/2021. Staff has reached out in between, and in fact, I reached out again this morning to see what the status is, and I have not received a reply. The next steps will be sending an email asking for official status of where they're going. If they're not going to proceed forward, then probably likely go back to. I don't think we're going to need to do that, but please know staff is really focusing.
Yeah, I had heard one other update on that, and that is they're waiting for the drawings to come back from the architect. So hopefully that's a positive sign.
That's the message we received on the beginning of November. I just assume maybe we're a little further along than.
Yeah.
I'm hoping Leif calls me back tomorrow and then we can give a better update.
Yep.
The other item is I'm pleased to report the regional board grant, the initial agreement. Staff has it in their hand. They've signed it. For those of you who don't know what that entails, that's a $5.6 million construction grant that's going to help us put solar out at the wastewater treatment plant, algae extraction system, and improve our sewer collection system in the community. All of these projects that we're funding with this grant money means that that's projects that the ratepayers don't have to pay for. So for those things that are desperately needed for this system. So kudos to council for seeing the vision of moving forward on this grant on there, and just let you know, staff's we're here to execute everything. Next step is the final budget authorization for each of those individual projects. So we're hoping by early January, we're ready to move forward. That's all I got, Mr. Mayor.
And if you don't mind, Wes, really quick, I just want to make sure that it's clarified to the public that this grant funding is only eligible to be used for construction projects at the wastewater treatment plant for the purpose of improving the system. This is not a grant that could be directly applied to our sewer debt. It is not something that can be used to directly lower bills outside of going through the construction process. So just want to make sure everyone's on the same page on that.
Yeah, you're absolutely correct. Now, I will add that it can be used for a sewer collection system as well, not just the wastewater treatment plant, anything sewer related. We have to have all those projects identified, approved.
Thank you, staff, for all the legwork you do on that project. I know those grant processes are never easy.
Update on the sign.
Not a great one. So I think when he says the sign, he means the Colfax roundabout, the monument sign. We were working on the lighting system. I know there were some comments from the general public that it looked like the lighting had fallen down, staff had removed it. We were working on putting a diffuser system on there. So we had a test period for the diffuser on one side that went well. The contractor is going to have the rest of it all installed by the end of the week, which will complete that project.
Yeah, and again, that's also money that could only be used for that construction project over there. It's not money we can use to fund other things. And if we didn't use it, that money goes away.
Yeah, we are obligated to spend that money within the 5-year period of when we obtained it.
Yep.
For the mitigation.
Yep.
Thank you for your report. All right, we'll move on to item 9, the only council business we got, the rotation of mayor and mayor pro tem.
Mayor Lohman, I'd like to point out that there's been 5 public comments on, I'd like to motion that we go ahead and have Trinity move into position of mayor.
We got to take public comment and council comment first, but we'll get there. I know we have several public comments, so we'll need that read off. Does anybody in the public want to make a comment? Jim, did you want to come up? Well, you gotta, if we're gonna vote on the item, so if you want to comment beforehand, that's gonna be your only chance to comment. No? All right, just making sure. Anybody else in the public audience? No? All right, could you please read off the online comments and mail-in comments?
Carla Jamison on Facebook stating she lives at 21 East Oak Street. I would like to add my thoughts on the rotation of roles for City Council. I would like to offer my support for Councilwoman Trinity Burris. In her time as a member of council as well as a resident of Colfax, she has repeatedly proven her dedication to the good of the city and its residents. When I had to endure the unknown of the river fire, seeing her constant updates while she herself was evacuated and pregnant too, she was personally delivered food to multiple residents who were unable to attend the food bank. When COVID took place last year and the local businesses downtown were being affected, she was instrumental in arranging outside seating for the patrons of the businesses on Main Street. In my mind, Trinity has proven herself more than worthy to be our next mayor. P.S. Sean is absolutely amazing too. Moving on to our next public comment. This is from Nicolette Delpino. I am writing this letter in support of Trinity Burris rotating into the mayor's seat in 2022. Since Trinity became a city council member, I have had very positive experiences with her. She is extremely straightforward and goes the extra mile to understand and respond to every situation. During our crises with the campfire, it was Trinity who jumped on the task of joining us all together through information as well as spearheading a benefit. Personally and professionally, I find her to be highly intelligent, well-educated, energetic, and thoughtful in her approach to city government and community concerns. She is transparent in her views, willing to listen, to compromise, and most importantly, willing to take the time to explain the depth of an issue or situation. These are all laudable qualities in a leader who represents the community. I have firsthand seen that she takes the business of city government seriously and gets things done. If she says attention will be paid to a concern, everyone can count on the fact that it will. She does exactly what she says that she will do, and this is crucial to establishing trust and forward motion between the citizens of Colfax and our city government. I strongly believe the city of Colfax, our community at large, and those who seek to become part of our town will benefit from Trinity Burris as acting mayor. Thank you, Nicolette Delpino. We have another public comment submitted by Bridget Carpenter. Good morning. I am in support of Trinity Burris rotating into mayor's seat. I think her knowledge and understanding of the community will be very beneficial to the city. Thank you, Bridget Armstrong. We also have public comment submitted by Howard White on Oak Ridge Drive. Dear Council, I would like to express my firm desire to have Trinity Burris as our town's mayor for 2022. I feel that Trinity has gone above and beyond to bring transparency and leadership to our community in a way that is rare and indispensable in government. She has shown willingness to have an open mind and work with those she may not agree with, as well as the backbone to stand up for what she believes in right, both morally and for our town's best interests. She does not shy away or cower in the face of conflict, but rather works to be solution-oriented. She faces disagreement head-on and displays both assertive confidence and humility in her approach. When we need her, she is there, always ready to show up and do the job. She showed us this during the river fire. She worked diligently to keep our community informed and supported, even as she herself was evacuated. She also steps up to the plate on a regional level, representing our town as a strong professional who can hold her weight in the big leagues. I am very grateful to have someone so qualified and committed serving our community, and it would make me proud to call Trinity Madam Mayor. I hope you will agree. Sincerely, Howard White, Oak Ridge Drive. Last comment I have here is further from Caroline McCauley. She states, as we approach the end of the year and the rotation of council members, I would like to extend a huge thank you to Mayor Lohman for her service and welcome to our new mayor, Trinity Burris. We look forward to supporting you and the council as you continue to help Colfax improve. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Caroline.
And that is all for public comment.
All right. Nobody else? Jim, you sure? All right. Make sure. Any comments from the council? No? Ready to make a motion?
So again, I want a motion with all the public support that we got in it. Trinity, sorry, Mayor Pro Tem, or has to move into the mayor.
All right. Can I get a second?
Second.
All right. Thank you. Roll call. Yep. And can I get a roll call, Madam Clerk?
Councilmember Mendoza,
Yes.
Councilmember Fatula,
Aye.
and Mayor Pro Tem Burris. Councilmember Ackerman
Aye.
and Mayor Loman.
Aye. I'll be the first to say congratulations, Mayor Perez. Thank you. Right.
And we still have the mayor pro tem.
Mayor Pro Tem. So any discussion we want to have on Mayor Pro Tem?
I'd like to make a motion. I'd like to motion Marnie Mendoza take the seat of Mayor Pro Tem.
Second that. Works. All right, we'll do a roll call.
Councilmember Mendoza. Councilmember Fatula
Aye.
and Mayor Pro Tem Burris
Yes.
and Councilmember Ackerman
Aye.
and Mayor Loman.
Aye. Takes care of that. Congratulations, Mayor Pro Tem Mendoza. All right. We'll move on to item 10, go to the order.
Mayor, before we move on, I'd like to let the public know and council that there will be a ceremonial swearing in of the mayor, Mayor Pro Tem directly following the meeting tonight. For those in the audience that wish to stay, partake, we encourage it.
Yep. Thank you. All right, go to the order. Marnie?
Oh, I was married.
Okay. Joe? Nope. All right. Cindy?
I don't have anything.
David?
Yeah, the only thing I have, I don't know if this is the appropriate place or time to bring it up, but just in general, would love to see at least a 2-year term for mayor, like just for more continuity, et cetera. I don't know when we'd even need to consider something like that, but I just want to bring it
Keep turning
up.
them up. I can't hear them.
Making changes to our mayor process.
Changing the. That can certainly be done. The 1-year terms of.
Thanks, David. And I got nothing for tonight, except for thank you all. It's been an honor serving as mayor for the last year. I really enjoyed it, and I know Trinity will be a great mayor also.
Mr. Mayor, before we move on for David's go to the order comment, staff would appreciate to kind of get a gauge from council whether or not you'd like that agendized to have a future meeting for discussion or not. That's all we needed. Thank you.
Okay. All right, and I will adjourn my last meeting as mayor. Meeting adjourned. Thank you all.
Thank you, Sean.
Thank you, Dad.